Hey, this is Mike. I am in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Van Underwood, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2016 Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn with the EcoDiesel engine. Super awesome truck, tons of features. I'm going to show you every one of those features in this video. It's going to be a little bit of a long video, so if you want to skip around, that's fine with me. So let's check it out. 20-inch aluminum wheels. Holding this bad boy up, and it has like a kind of a matte, not too shiny wheel to where it's not too gaudy and tacky, but just a really excellent looking truck. Has the same design as the 13 and 14s, with which got the Motor Trend Truck of the Year back to back. First time that's ever happened. So it has the crew cab, privacy glass. Let's take a look here in the front. Halogen projector headlights and fog lights. You see that. Chrome grille, really awesome chrome around this vehicle. You have the chrome grille, chrome bumper, chrome on the side of the mirrors there, chrome side steps. But here in the front we also have some parking sensors across the front. It's little round circles. You have the black tow hooks sticking out of the grill, out of the bumper there. Let's go on this side. So this is what the key looks like. It has the lock and unlock buttons there, and the remote start button plus a panic button, and it has the Ram name there on the back. It actually has a key on the inside that you can take out and use in case you need an actual physical key. So the key is also a proximity key. So I'm going to put the key in my pocket, and I'm going to show you how you can use the vehicle without actually taking the key out of your pocket. So walking up, right now the vehicle is locked, and I can demonstrate that by pulling right here. So you can see the door is actually locked. So all I have to do is put my hand behind the handle, and it senses the key, it senses my hand position, and it unlocks the doors. So now I can unlock it. I can open it up. If I want to relock it, I can just push that button and it relocks. So very intuitive. You just put your hand behind your handle like you would anyway, and you can open up the door. So here is the inside of the passenger door. As you can see, it absolutely looks amazing. You have the real wood grain accents here at the top. Most everything is black, but you have this brown there in the center, and then you have the brown stitching there on the sides. Then you have that metallic Ram badge popping out there with some super class. Of course, you have the chrome around there as well, which just adds to the awesomeness. And then you have a little pocket there, a little shelf system, a little pocket there and down here, and a place to put your bottles and stuff. Really awesome design. Just the door. Wait till you see the inside. Okay, so here is your Ram threshold. It's like aluminum, polished aluminum plating right here. Floor mats are also awesome with the Longhorn, Laramie Longhorn badging, and this is actually metal right here. And then you have the carpeting and then the rubber, so you have the best of both worlds there. Seats are power adjustable with the power adjustable lumbar support. Heated and cooled, perforated leather seats here in the front. And then you have the Longhorn edition badging there as well, patch. You have a little bit of a filigree design here in the top glove compartment. It has two glove compartments. Check that out. Here's your other glove compartment. It has some stuff in there, but you can see little storage pocket right there. You have a place on the side, on both sides of the center console, to put a full-size file folder, which will fit there. You can also put your mail or whatever papers happen to be in your hands, booklets, brochures, anything. You have a handle to get in and out of the vehicle, as well as a step, so fairly comfortable and easy to get in and out. Let's take a look here. Now take a look at the privacy glass. Can't really see in too good, but seeing out is a piece of cake. So here's the inside of the crew cab. door. Really awesome looking, pretty much the same styling as the front. Has a little bit of a different because it doesn't have the bottle holders there at the bottom. And this vehicle is fresh off the truck, and I took off most of the plastic, but there's a couple pieces of plastic here and there, and it hasn't been washed on the outside, so you can have to excuse some of that stuff, but I wanted to show it to you as soon as possible. So you have a smaller polished aluminum ram threshold here in the back. So here's your heated perforated seats in the back. You have the same Longhorn badging, and these little storage pockets here in the back have, it looks like a belt buckle, but it's actually a little magnet system here that you can open up and put your stuff into there. So this folds down, and that reveals 2 cup holders and armrest. There's your heated seat controls here in the center, plus a power supply, 12 volts. Check that out. It's got the ram head there with the barbed wire design, 2 cup holders here. So under this floor mat is actually a little secret compartment. It's pretty awesome. You have basically, some people use this as a cooler, and some people use it as a trash can or whatever, but it has this cool liner, so you can take this liner out and dump it and put it back in, which is awesome. And it's completely, it's a storage space that's completely out of the way, and it is you know, it's just something that you can utilize, a space that you wouldn't normally utilize, but it's out of the way. Speaking of that, which on this side, I'll show you something. You have this fold flat feature where if you want to utilize this space in the back of the truck not for passenger space, but for cargo space, you can fold that down, and then you have this flat surface. Say you want to put a box in there or something that you just don't want to leave in the back of the truck. You can have actually a passenger on that side if you wanted to, but you can also have this storage space. It keeps whatever you want out of, like say if you put a box back here, it keeps it out of the weather. It also keeps it secure and all that good stuff. So that's one cool feature under the seat. Another cool feature, which you'll see on the other side, is some storage space, but on this side is your subwoofer for your premium Alpine sound system, which is pretty cool. And all that is completely out of the way underneath the seat. Okay, so let's take a look back here. Now we have, this one has the 5-foot 7-inch bed. It has the dual exhausts here in the back with the chrome tips. Chrome bumper has the backup parking sensors across the back, those little round circles. You have the towing hitch with the 4- and 7-way plugs are right here. And this vehicle can tow up to 8,000 pounds the way it's equipped right now. So there's your tailgate. It has the Longhorn badging with the filigree designs. Backup camera is hidden here with the handle. Now I want to mention something. The Ram trucks, I'm going to go ahead and lock the doors. When you lock that door, it locks this tailgate. So now I cannot open this tailgate. Now if you want to unlock the car doors, you also unlock the tailgate, and so that way you don't actually have to physically lock the tailgate. Now you can bypass that. It comes with a little kit to bypass it to where you can manually lock it only, but that's just a really good convenience feature for most people. So let's take a look. The actual tailgate, it's not like spring loaded or anything, but it is fairly easy to lower and raise because it's not really not very heavy. So you have the spray and bed liner from the factory, and you have these bed lights here on the sides, LED bed lights on the sides there, plus you have a cargo light that illuminates the whole bed that shines down from there, and then you have the tie downs on each corner. So the spray and bed liner is really awesome because it goes directly on the paint from the factory, so there's no corrosion starting or anything like that, corrosion. Let's take a look at the fuel door over here. It's on the driver's side, which is extremely convenient. So this is what they call a capless design. So this little plastic piece is just for shipping. It's not normally there, but all you have to do is put the nozzle in there, put your fuel, pump it full of fuel, and you don't have to worry about a cap. It has two doors here, which will, I don't know if you can see in there, that, you know, like even if water were to get into here, it's not actually going to get in the tank. The nozzle has to be a certain length before it can open up the second door. Your DEF fluid is, you can add that right here, and from what I understand, depending on your driving habits plus your loads that you're carrying, the DEF, a tank of DEF could last up to 10,000 miles from my calculations. So I've gotten different, some people say it lasts, you know, a little bit slightly longer. Some people say it lasts a lot less, depending on the way you drive and what you're carrying and all that stuff. So this is a reminder here that if you were to use a gas can to put fuel in the vehicle, you have to use there's a special funnel that it comes with that will pass through both of the doors there. Because if you just pour it in here, it's just going to pour out on the ground. And then you have this rubber seal that kind of helps seal up the whole place anyway. So let's take a look on this side to give you another point of view. There's the inside of the back door. See the floor mat. Now on this side, the other side had the subwoofer underneath the seat. Well, this side has a storage compartment. This is the front license plate holder, but you can see pretty decent amount of space. Now if you didn't have the premium Alpine sound system, you would have this storage space underneath the seat on that side, because it wouldn't come with the subwoofer. But you can see it goes in pretty far, and whatever you put in there will not be rolling around, getting in the way, and it's going to stay put there, and you don't have to worry about it. Also, the back seat also has the latch system for the child safety seats, and you have the anchors. Those plastic straps right here are the anchor points. So starting the vehicle without the remote start, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and push this button, and it starts right up. To remote start the vehicle, you just have to make sure it's locked and double tap this button here. So let's take a look under the hood. So to open up the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the right of the Ram symbol here. You just reach right in here and move it to the left, like so. You just reach in, move it to the left, and there you go. And it lifted up just a few inches, it'll go up the rest of the way. You do have a light under the hood, which is awesome. So there you have it. It's a 3.0 liter EcoDiesel V6, 240 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque. And the torque is what you really need. On a diesel engine, it's amazing how much torque they get. I wish they didn't cover it up with plastic. They really like to see some actual engine there, but maybe you can see a little bit around the plastic. Have an insulated battery, you have a color coding, you have the yellow colors where you would actually represent certain things that you can check, so like check the oil, brake fluid, and stuff like that. So the driver's side door is basically a mirror of the other side, except for it has some more buttons. So door lock buttons here. You also have your window controls, and your front are automatic, one touch up and down, like so. And you can lock out your rear windows in case you have children in the back and you don't really want them playing around with the windows. You can do that. Side mirrors are controlled right here. You just pick a side, left to right, and you can adjust it with that little pad. It also has power folding side mirrors. You can push that button in the center and it will fold the mirrors in and out. Really awesome feature there. Can't get over that awesome wood grain. You can actually feel the grains in the wood Okay, so over here is your headlight controls. You do have an automatic feature there, and off, and then you have parking lights, and then there's your headlights there. Cargo light is here. If you want to turn on your fog lights, you just push that in like so, and your dimmer switch for your interior gauges is right there. So I'm going to put that back to automatic. You also have adjustable pedals. You can adjust your accelerator and brake pedal in and out to get the right position that you want. So you have the tilt steering column there, power adjustments on the seat for the lumbar support as well as the regular. This is your lumbar support, which will really get that right position of comfort. Plus you have presets for your seats 1 and 2, and then you can set it there. So here we are on the inside, 2016 Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn with the EcoDiesel engine. Lots and lots of cool features. So let's go ahead and start over here on the steering wheel. It is a heated steering wheel with real leather here, real wood grain here at the top, and very good thickness and grip. Very tacky, it's not very slippery at all, and extremely thick here at the top. The rest of it is a leather wrapped and stitched on the inside steering wheel. Very good thickness. It's a little bit softer than, of course, the wood, but it's not quite as grippy as the wood. The wood is really comfortable and grippy. So you have this kind of a metallic accent around the outside. So you have a bunch of buttons, and here on the right side is your cruise control. You just have to make sure it's turned on with this button. It'll let you know that it's on, and then you can set it here, change through your speeds, resume and cancel there. And then you have this ability to change through the gears. Now this has an 8-speed, a TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission. There's your shifter, which we'll get into in a minute. But you can actually change through the gears using these buttons here, so in case you need to downshift or something like that. So on the back of the steering wheel, right here, is an up and down and a center button there. That is for your radio. So I can turn the volume up and down on the radio with that button. And then the center button is for changing through different audio sources, like say AM, FM, or different media devices. So on the left side of the steering wheel, on the back, is have the ability to change through the stations up and down, and then there's a center button which will cycle you through the presets there at the top, so you can cycle through those. So here on the front of the steering wheel we have the Bluetooth phone button and voice recognition button there at the top. So this button, you can send and receive calls right there. And so once you pair your phone, you have access to your phone book and stuff, so you can basically push that button and say call Stephen Underwood. If Stephen Underwood is in your phone book, it will go ahead and dial his number for you. It's pretty awesome. So voice recognition, there's this whole booklet that it comes with that has all these different commands that you can say, and they're very intuitive. And you can control the navigation, you can make phone calls, you can change to different radio stations, all kinds of different things with the voice recognition. I highly recommend learning how to use it because it keeps you productive, doing what you want while your hands are on the wheel and eyes on the road. Really awesome convenience and safety feature. So you have these little arrows right here, and they correspond with that screen there in the center of the gauges. Now the gauges are really awesome. You have a filigree, kind of a western look, kind of a gold tone color. Your DEF fluid gauge is here on the bottom left, and then your RPMs are there. On the right you have your diesel fuel gauge, plus you have your speedometer, which goes up to 120. Temperature for your engine coolant temperature, and there is your pressure, oil pressure. So here in the center is telling you your outside temperature. The vehicle's facing north, cruise control's on, there's your odometer, and then you have a digital speedometer there in the center. So I'm going to just kind of scroll down so you can see that digital speedometer is part of a menu system. So now we go, this is the second option there on this menu system here, and it says vehicle info. But you see these little round circles across the top, that's letting me know that I can go right or left and get some more information. So right now, tire pressure on each tire. Scrolling to the right will give me the transmission temperature, and then I can keep going. I get oil life, battery voltage, gauge, a whole gauge summary, and then it goes to your engine hours, and then it scrolls back to your tire pressure. So I'm going to go down, which puts me into the fuel economy, which will give me a real time fuel economy there with a little bar, and then it'll give you the average and all that stuff. Your trip A, and what's cool about the trips is it gives you your distance, but also your average miles per gallon, average miles per hour, and your time on your trip. And you have 2 of those, which is cool. And then your trailer tow options here, this is where you can adjust you can see what your gain adjustment is and make adjustments there if needed. And this is what your radio is doing right now. It's just on satellite radio. And stored messages will be shown here. Sometimes the vehicle will say, hey, it's time for an oil change or something like that, and you just like, okay, I'll do it later, and that message kind of gets stored here. So if you need to go back to that message, you can find it here. And your screen setup, this is where you can change. So right now it has the digital compass there and your outside temperature. You can say put your range, how long before you have to get fuel up here, or change the corners, different information there that stays there. And scrolling back down, keep going down, it scrolls back to your digital speedometer, which is pretty cool. So you got lots of information there, and you don't actually have to go in there and look at it all. It'll pop up if there's anything out of spec. It's just there in case you want to look at it. So I just want to point out the stitching here on the dash. It has a really soft to the touch dash with the stitching across the top. Let's take a look at the window sticker before I forget. So you can use the pause button and get some more information. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the center stack. At the very top, you'll see it has the badging. Hopefully you can see that Alpine sound system badging up there, and you see it has the real wood grain. You can actually feel the wood grain in it here. And then you got a little storage pocket that says RAM in it. Before I go too much further, I just want to point out also that the side mirrors are auto dimming on both sides. You have auto dim side mirrors, because I had this shade in place and it's covering up the light sensors, which is also causing the rear view mirror to auto dim. Okay, so down here is your 8.4 inch touchscreen display. It has Uconnect features in it, and this one's a little bit different from previous years, but it's very similar as far as the way the layout is. So you have some icons here at the very bottom. So this is a real easy to use system. Uconnect is, a lot of people say is the easiest to use car system, because you want easy in a car while you're driving. So your first icon here is your radio. So this is your radio screen, and then you have the options of AM, FM, and satellite radio. You have your presets here at the very top, and you can go in here and add favorite song and different things like that. Now satellite radio will be able to find your favorite song for you on any station, so you can go in there and put in your favorite song, and it'll let you know if your favorite song is playing on any radio station, which is pretty cool. Media, this is where you can play music outside of just the standard AM FM satellite radio. You also have a CD player, which I'll show you where it is. It's an interesting place. USB port, auxiliary input. You can play music through a Bluetooth device or an SD card, and I'll show you where all that stuff is. So there's lots of different ways of playing music through the sound system in this vehicle. Controls. This icon pops up. You have your heated and ventilated seats, your heated steering wheel, and then your heated and ventilated seats there on the passenger side. You can turn your auto dim mirror on and off if you want to. Also, which is pretty cool, you have access to your backup camera without actually putting the vehicle in reverse. So let's go back here, push that. Now it can actually see the backup camera without putting the vehicle in reverse, which is pretty cool, in case you need to see that. and you notice the controls will pop up and eventually go away after a few minutes. You also have a whole bunch of different settings: display settings, voice settings, clock, your lights, doors and locks, safety and driving assistance. There's all kinds of different settings here that you can go into. A lot of people will one of the things people do is take off the beeping when you lock the door or when you do the remote start. Instead of it beeping, it just flashes the lights, that kind of stuff, because you know, you don't always want to wake up your neighbors when you lock your door. So that's one thing that a lot of people do. Okay, so now the next one, there was the controls there, and the next icon is the apps icon, which is kind of interesting because it used to be over here. But I'm going to skip that for now because I'm going to go into the climate, and this is your climate control. It has a dual zone, driver and passenger. Your fan speed is here, where you want the air to blow, and then your air conditioning, recirculate the air, all that good stuff. Front and rear defrosters are up there. And you notice this information stays here at the very top. You have your time and outside temperature, and you know, like right now I have the cooled seat on, so it's blowing now. So, and also you can sync both of these sides there in case you want to sync them and have everybody have the same temperature. So your navigation screen is here. This is actually your map. Let's go ahead and zoom out so you can zoom out pretty good ways and kind of get your bearings if you need to do that. And you can also put in a specific address. You can have your home address in there, so you can go home at anywhere. You can be anywhere in the United States, hit go home and it'll take you home. You can put in a specific address there, points of interest like gas stations, restaurants, stuff like that, which we'll get in a little bit more of that in a minute. So there's your navigation stuff. Phone, this is where once you pair your phone, you'll have your phone book, recent calls. You'll actually be able to dial with like a little number pad here, and also you can redial and your calls. You can also reply to text messages. So if you, and it'll tell you a certain, it's not going to do it now because I don't have a phone paired, but you'll have access to, like, say certain replies like yes or no, and or I'm driving, that kind of stuff. You can have some favorite phone numbers here at the top as well. You can mute. You can always transfer a call back to your actual cell phone. So if you're driving and you get a call and it's kind of a personal call and you have other people in the car, you can push the transfer button. It'll transfer it back to your cell phone so you can actually have a private conversation. Okay, so let's go to the Uconnect app button, and this is pretty cool. It's similar to like a cell phone where you have these little icons all the way across, and you can go to screen and have all these cool icons. So one of the coolest things about the apps is Travel Link, which I think is amazing. So you can have like a weather map. You can see what the center on map, and let's go to 100 miles, so you can kind of get an idea that there's some storms around. So this is really cool, especially if you're on a trip or something. But check this out, fuel prices. So let's go to fuel type. We'll change it to diesel, and so now we can find the nearest diesel fuel station and the price. So if you're out of town, if you're in a place you're not familiar with, you need to find the nearest gas station. There you go, you can find the nearest one. Now if you want to get super cheap, you can push the price button. It'll take you to, you have to drive 16 miles, but you can save actually a few pennies there if you want to. And so that's pretty awesome. Movie listings, you see the weather. Now this is actually not the weather map, but actually a forecast. So you have the 3 to 6 hour, you have the 5-day forecast. Looks like it's going to get pretty rough pretty soon. And you can change the location to a specific place that, like say you're going somewhere and you want to see what the weather is going to be, you can do all that stuff. So Travel Link is a really cool feature, and plus you can, you know, change anything you want in here. App Manager is kind of like what the screen used to look like, and this is where you can access Travel Link and you can have favorite apps. You can set up your Pandora and iHeartRadio, that kind of stuff. And if you were to use some of, like say Pandora, it's going to use some of your cell phone data, so just want to let you know about that. So there you go. There's pretty much an overview of all the features on the touchscreen, and of course they're all there in case you need them. You don't actually have to use any of that stuff. You can actually turn the screen off, and just if it's distracting you, you don't even have to have it on. So that's pretty awesome. At any time you can push it and it'll turn back on. So here's your actual shifter. So when you put it in reverse, your backup camera will pop up here, just like we saw before, but also your parking sensors will pop up, and it'll give you an idea of which side, if there's an object in the way, it'll tell you which side it is and all that stuff. It'll beep at you and get your attention. So with all that, you shouldn't ever hit it back up in anything, but it might still happen. Neutral, and then there's your normal drive position. This will allow you to just drive normally, and the 8-speed transmission gets a little getting used to. It's a little bit different than a normal transmission, but man, it always finds that perfect gear ratio. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so down here is your 4-wheel drive controls. You have a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive auto, so it'll cycle into 4-wheel drive when needed, and then you got 4-wheel drive lock and 4-wheel drive low in case you need all that stuff. And the neutral button is for flat towing. Say if you want the drivetrain to completely disconnect, that way the vehicle will be free flowing, free rolling. You can pull it behind like an RV or something. So you have some redundant buttons down here. You have a volume change through your stations. You have some more climate control buttons down here, just in case you don't want to go into the climate control on the screen. You have all of them down here if you need to. Fan speed, temperatures, front and rear defrosters, all that good stuff. Trailer brake gain control is here. Traction control, you can turn that off if you need to. Tow and haul button, this is very important when you're hauling heavy trailers and stuff. Your parking sensors, you can turn those on and off right there in case you need to. They're pretty much on unless you turn them off, because let's say you're getting close to something, backing up to a trailer or something, and it's beeping at you and you just don't want to hear the beeping anymore. Really easy to just turn it off there. Heated and cooled seats controls, plus your heated steering wheel controls are all there. You have a storage pocket right in here. Cup holders there to the right, and check this out, real wood little cover for this little compartment, and you have a 12-volt power supply there. Pretty good size compartment in there. Plus you have this neat place to put a cell phone. You just kind of, I don't keep my cell phone in into me with the video because it messes up the audio. It kind of interferes, makes some static noise, but you can actually put your cell phone and it kind of locks it in place right here, so that way you put it there and you're not worried about it falling down or but it's still visible, which is pretty cool. Really like this kind of roll top desk wood cover there. It looks amazing. And plus, just like the other side, you have this place for a full-size file folder there on the side of the console. So here's your armrest, and it's massive. Plenty of room for your driver and passenger to share as an armrest, so you're not fighting over it. You have the Longhorn badging here in the center, stitching, very soft to the touch. And this lifts up in two ways. This is the top half. You have a big storage compartment here, USB port, SD card, USB. So you have a USB input for playing music through the sound system, but you also have a USB charger here. Plus you have an auxiliary input as well. So those are all the ways that you can play music through the sound system. And you have this little place so your wires can go in and out in case you need to do that. Put something in here or have a wire through here and plug it in, and that way when you close this up, it doesn't pinch your wire. So this whole thing lifts up, and yes, this is where your CD player is, hidden under here. So you have this big storage bin, and then there's your CD player. Pretty interesting. But if you're still using CDs, you might want to go ahead and have them transferred to another way of playing them, because CD players are kind of phasing out. And you can see there's another place for wires to go in and out in case you need to do that for some reason. Okay, so let's take a look at the rear view mirror. You have an assistance button plus a 911 button. This will actually call people. So you can push that assistance button and you can talk to an operator and tell them what you need, and they'll walk you right through. Say if you want to set your clock on your radio or something like that, they'll hook you up with that. And the 911, that is for actually dialing 911. It'll send you directly to them. So, and this will happen even if you don't have your cell phone in the car. This vehicle has a wireless connection, and in case of an emergency, if you don't, you don't have to worry about your cell phone, because you just push that button and you can talk to the operator. Garage door open controls here, and you have some tap lights in case you need a quick reading light. And this button is really awesome. Check it out. It's for your power sliding glass window back there. Isn't that cool? Let me open it up all the way so you can see how far it goes. There you go. Alright. So your visors have mirrors and lights in them, and same thing on that side. Okay, so let's look back here again, but this time we're going to look at the visibility in the back. Now, those headrests are actually removable, so some people actually take those out when they know they're not going to have passengers back there. They can take those out, and that way you get a little bit better visibility. But you can see pretty good, especially with all the sensors and cameras and all that stuff. Alright, there you have it. 2016 Ram 1500 EcoDiesel engine. Now this is the Laramie Longhorn, one of my favorite trucks on the road. Really, really awesome Western look, high quality truck. Super comfortable. It's amazing. You gotta, if you've never driven a Ram truck, I mean, they have the coil springs in the back. They have a really good, comfortable feel. They drive totally different than older like Dodge trucks and stuff like that. And if you're used to driving a Ford or a Chevrolet or whatever, try to just take a Ram truck for a test drive. They're absolutely amazing. Okay, so thank you for watching, and thank you to Van Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina. And Whiteville is near Wilmington, so it's a small town, small dealership, really awesome people here. I actually used to work here, and so I highly recommend the dealership. I'll leave Stephen Underwood's contact information in the description in case you're interested in a vehicle and you're anywhere in the southeastern United States. They will definitely hook you up. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.